What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. So, the other day, or I say the other day, it's more like last week now, we had the announcement of the New Zealand team being added to Rugby 22, and that's some big news. You know, New Zealand wasn't in Rugby 20. They've managed to get that license now. I'm sure they probably paid a shed load of money to take that away from Rugby Challenge 4 and those guys working on those games over there. So that's come into the game now, and we're really excited about that. We have since had the update of the rest of the international teams. Now, I've left it a little bit just because I didn't know whether they would announce some more, because to be honest, there's not as many as some people might think. Now, we did a stream, like a proper stream. I was actually live streaming. That's very unusual for me. But on the live stream, we did actually talk about the teams that have been mentioned, and I sort of realised I hadn't actually done like a proper video on it. I didn't know whether they'd release more. It's been over a week now. We're now a week closer to the release date, and they've not announced any more teams. So I'm going to be assuming they're not going to be announcing more teams. So what I thought we would do today is just go through a list of the teams and talk about what we think of the team list. Now, I saw this originally on their Twitter page. It came up. I'll pop it on screen for you guys. We have it here. This is their announcement that the All Blacks are going to be joining. And then I saw down here, see the full roster of official national teams on the 6th axis. Who are they? I've never heard of them before. Why has Nakon not released this on their own page? Why have they not done this as a Twitter thing? They haven't even put like a picture up themselves. They've just left it to this other website. I've never heard of the 6th axis before. But hey, we thought we'd go check it out. So we checked out the 6th Axis website, and it's a little bit bare bones, to be honest. They've got a little banner of some of the teams that have been announced up the top there, and then further down they just sort of gave a little bit of a paragraph. Nakon and Eco Software, some new additions including the likes of New Zealand All Blacks and Australian team. That was all very fun. They've got the All Blacks reveal trailer that we looked at the other day, and then really it's just the same sort of spiel that we've seen on every other site. So there was nothing particularly interesting to look at there per se. So what we'll do is we'll chuck on screen for you guys now the teams that have been announced for Rugby 22. So of course the big two additions, you could probably say, this year. There are more, but there's the big two that a lot of people will be talking about is of course that All Blacks team, along with the Wallabies now also in there. So of the sort of the top tier Southern Hemisphere teams in Rugby 20, we didn't have the All Blacks, we didn't have Australia, we didn't have South Africa. We've still not got South Africa, which is a shame. It would have been cool to have done the whole Tri-Nations thing, the whole Southern Hemisphere sort of tournaments they have going on down there. I think that could have been fun. It's a shame they haven't managed to get them in. So alongside them, we've also got France, Wales, Italy, Scotland and Ireland. So we've got 5 of the 6 nations teams. They've still not been able to get England, which I'm sure will probably be a bit of a shame for a lot of fans of this game. I have seen a lot of people making comments and stuff that are English supporters that wanted to see them in Rugby 20, didn't get them, and then moving on to Rugby 22, still not going to get them in the actual game, which is a bit of a shame. Accompanying them, France and Georgia, who we did have in the Rugby 20 game, and then a new addition, the Flying Fijians, getting added in. Now, we didn't have any Fijian team actually licensed in Rugby 20, so that was nice. But one of the things that really stands out to me here is there's 10 teams there. There's 10 international teams. Now, people have been really hyped about this. Again, New Zealand, Australia, very, very hype. For anyone who did manage to catch the stream, you will have seen that in the stream we did a lot of like lower rated games. I'm not a big fan necessarily of just playing all the top tier teams all the time. I quite like playing as like Japan, Georgia, Samoa, Tonga. I like playing as some of the lesser rated, the tier 2, maybe tier 3 nations. I think it makes the game a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, especially when you've played it as long as I have. And to not see a lot more names on here is a little bit disappointing. Now, what I want to do for you guys, I'm going to chuck them up side by side with the Rugby 20 team licenses. And yeah, there's a lot more. Now, I don't know what's happened here. I don't know if they've sort of restricted their own budget to not have some of the lesser teams in order to have things like the All Blacks and the Wallabies in. Maybe there's more financial gain from them going for them. But just look at the difference in teams. In Rugby 20, we had Samoa, we had Tonga, USA, Russia, Canada, Namibia. I really enjoy playing as a lot of those teams, and it's really fun, especially when we do the videos on the channel where we talk about the teams that have been announced for actual games. You know, coming up to the World Cup now, it's only about a year away, and I like playing as the official teams, and we talk about the teams that have been announced to be playing over the top of a game in the background. I really enjoy doing that, and it looks like we might not get to do that, unfortunately. So So we've got a new game coming out. Let's have a bit of a breakdown about what we've seen from Rugby 22 to end off the year 2021. So we've got a game coming out. We've seen it pre-ordered. You can get it pre-ordered through Game in the UK for £45, which is a lot, which is quite a lot for a game. It's a pretty standard price, but it still feels like quite a lot of money in one go. And what are we going to get for that £45, what we've seen already? Well, there doesn't seem to be any special editions. There's no collector's editions, no steelbook. I still can't find it on the Xbox Marketplace, which means I'm a bit worried about being able to download this digitally. Might mean I have to get it on disc. On PC, you can get it through Steam. The images we've seen of the game make it look pretty much the same as Rugby 20. We haven't really seen any gameplay or actual static shots of it to look any better, really, graphically. In terms of the internal mechanics, we've seen the menu system. Looks very similar. We haven't really heard or seen anything new in the menu system. And now we've got the teams being released of the international teams, which is what the majority of people I think would want to play in terms of a rugby game. You want to be playing the international teams. And we've gone from having, 13 international teams down to 10. We've actually lost international teams, and in order to do that, we've replaced like 3 of the teams in order to get the Wallabies and the All Blacks. Now, there's some positives, there's some negatives to look at there. It will much depend on your viewpoint, what you want, the bang for your buck, as it were. What do you guys want to see from this game? This, for me, I really hope they do announce some more national teams, especially some of the Tier 2, Tier 3 nations, who are now not going to be represented in any game. I feel it would be very weird for teams like Samoa and Tonga and Namibia and Russia to not want their team licensed in a game. Even if there was a dispute about money or so on, wouldn't you want a bit of recognition, a bit of, out there versatility, having customers look at your team, enjoy playing as your team, maybe generate a bit of money, maybe 1% of people that play this game might go on to buy a jersey of like a Samoa or a Tonga team in the UK or something, just because you get to play as them in the actual game. I'm not sure. There's a lot of positives and negatives to take away from this new game coming out, but the general consensus I'm seeing in the comments as well from you guys is that there's more negatives than there is positives. So I'm going to be really interested to see what you guys drop down in the comments about this. Are you happy that they've managed to secure New Zealand and Australia in place of a lot of the Tier 2 nations? Are you sort of like me and you're really sad to not be seeing a lot more of the Tier 2, Tier 3 nations in there as well? Also licensed. What's your thoughts on the game? Have you been enjoying all the gaming news as it's been coming out on the channel to do with Rugby 22? Make sure you drop it down in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video today, make sure you drop it a like. And like I've said on every video so far, we will be picking this game up. We will be playing it on the channel. I'm really planning on getting a couple of streams in as soon as I can work out all the streaming software, just to get it all working perfectly fine when Rugby 22 comes out, so a lot of people can actually see it being played live. I think a lot of people will probably get a good kick out of that. Saves you guys having to buy it yourselves. So just to keep up to date with when those videos come out, make sure you subscribe to the channel just to keep up to date when they are released. And like I said, if you've enjoyed this one today, make sure you drop it a like. But I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys, and have enjoyed a lot of the Rugby 22 news as it's been coming out on the channel. I will see you all next time, probably in the new year now. So I'll see you in Rugby 22 in the year 2022. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.